Hello, everyone. My name is Olamide Jolaoso, and I'm happy to be speaking to you today at this Conversational Chatbots Conference holding in South Africa. All right, before I go ahead, I'm going to tell you little bit about myself. I have an engineering background, and I've been working in the banking industry here in Lagos, Nigeria, for almost 2 decades. And I've been in the data space for close to like a decade. All right. And outside of work, I like to write, I like to speak, I like to coach. I love good food. I love WWE. And can also see I'm also a football fan. All right. So today we'll be taking a dive into chatbots and LLMs. Okay. Also evaluate potential chatbot applications and also look at frameworks for identifying ideal use cases. Also, would also talk about redefining chatbot capabilities and then take a practical roadmap for taking your chatbot project from concept to reality. Okay. I remember when I saw the advert for this conference and I was just thinking, right, what kind of submission could I put forward? And it just made me realize at that point in our organization, we had recently developed a chatbot that was just built for internal staff. And then I remember thinking that we'd gone through a process of thinking before getting to the decision to actually develop or not develop that chatbot. And I really thought to myself that a lot of all the things we do around AI initiatives has to really be beyond the hype. Okay, in today's age, we have really seen the advent of a lot of large language models, a lot of chatbots, a lot of conversation bots that have taken rise even from the GPTs today. But then a lot of other applications and products have been developed even for public and private consumption. And for me, we really have to go beyond the hype of all this and ask ourselves, how do we really craft high impact use cases for our chatbots? Okay, gone are the days where you would have chatbots that have been custom for different websites and just answer just low level questions. Today, the bots are quite more intelligent. They are able to answer much more complex questions. And also, if you leverage the generative capabilities of these bots, they just make the whole interactions much more meaningful for the users. And so for us, whether in whatever industry we might find ourselves in, and we need to now be in the forefront of building these bots, we really need to ask ourselves, how do we define high impact use cases? And those are part of the things I'm going to be talking to you about briefly today during my presentation. All right. And by way of introduction, I'll just talk quickly around LLMs. LLMs are large language models. And really, these are the great steps that has helped us to grasp what it means to manage interactions. Okay. Today, the LLMs are able to help us grow to the point where there's a bit of intuitiveness in terms of our interactions with machines and in the levels of bots. Okay, and what we'll do today is just explore how you can evaluate these bots with a focus of how you can align the development of these bots in your organizations and in your systems to make sure that they align with your business goals, towards the end of just making sure that you derive the best value from it. Okay, there are practical use cases and best practices that we can look at, and the roles that these bots play in meeting these business objectives, and also how you can evaluate the performance in ways that directly impact customer experience, efficiency, and growth. All right, because really a lot of all these bots, they require quite some level of investment. And so it's important that as you make that investment, you are recouping those investments in terms of improving your operational efficiency, or actually even increase revenue. And here you can see just like a simple flow of what happens when a user makes a request with a chatbot. At the end of the day, whether it is a machine learning or a deep learning model at the back end, all leveraging the natural language processing involved, the responsive come in real time. All right, when we question these bots, we are trying to get those responsive in real time, and those models that are analyzing those responses at the back end are all opportuned or gearing towards making sure they give our users a better learning experience. And that way, once our customers get better learning experience and their behaviors get understood, we can at that point boost our revenues, because once your customers interact with your product or your business via these bots, they can end up making repeated purchases, or making or it could be the way that you even end up closing a sale. So it's important that even as our customers go through these flows, whatever models that are powering this, and I've also already mentioned that LLMs are a good tool for us to even improve these bots. Everything has to be able to help us to boost revenue and also optimize these interactions, and at the end of the day, guarantee that our customers are having better experiences. All right. And one of the ways that you can evaluate even your chatbot use cases is the WCW method. I'm sure some of you might be thinking, is this Woman Crush Wednesday? No, 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 no. That's not what I'm talking about here. But then, as we assess some of our chatbot use cases, we can measure the impact across three fundamental areas. All right. And I've already alluded to this at some point in this presentation. And these areas are customer experience, operational efficiency, and sales growth. And one of the ways to start is the W aspect, is where you ask yourself, will it elevate how customers interact with us? And this speaks to the experience perspective. All right. Before you go ahead with deploying that bot or building that bot, ask yourself the question, will it elevate how customers interact with us? And then the second question is, can it streamline operations? And this speaks to the efficiency. Okay. Let's say, for instance, it's able to help you to elevate the experience. But then the next question to ask is, will it streamline operations? Will it make us more efficient as an organization? And then the third question there is, will it contribute to the bottom line by driving sales? Because at the end of the day, when business to stay in business, meaning that if you elevate the experience, if you streamline the operations, and yet it is not helping you to drive sales, you might need to reconsider. So what this framework really does is to ensure that you're not just adopting technology for the mere sake of it, but you're adopting the technology of chatbot for real business value. All right, you're adopting it for real business value. Again, one of the best frameworks to use for evaluating your chatbot use cases, the WCW method. First, ask yourself the question, will it elevate how customers interact with us? And that speaks to the experience part of it. Second is, can it streamline your operations, efficiency? And third is, will it contribute to the bottom line by driving sales? Okay, so moving on. In terms of, I will talk now about optimizing your tech stack with LLMs and unlocking cost efficiency and personalization. All right. With the advancements that we've had in LLMs in the last couple of years, where your prompts can be in terms of text, speech, and even you can even drop your images. And this has really, it has bridged that gap between your traditional text-based chatbots to make your chatbots much more intuitive, much more intelligent, much more dynamic. Okay. And this, they are able to absorb the new language patterns or whatever terminology it has from past interactions to just make the conversation and that interaction a bit deeper. And these practical applications of LLMs in chatbots helps us to just translate this into direct value, because the deeper and the better that your bots are, the easier it is for you to be able to use this quite effectively in your optimizing it. Okay. And then And these practical applications of LLMs in chatbots translate directly into value here, where you're able to improve your cost, personalize some of your product recommendations a bit more, and then you're also able to cross-sell and upsell. And then at the end of the day, I always like to say that data helps us to improve value, and helps us to improve value, and the value is all in the decision making. All right, so moving on now, also still talking about leveraging AI and LLMs. You really can't talk about chatbots in today's day and age without talking about LLMs. And LLMs, yet again, speaks about the large language models. Okay, LLMs really, they keep the chatbots updated with the latest information. All right, and then because it just makes your conversation much more fluid. Where and a good definition of AI is when you mimic human intelligence, and that means you feel like you're talking to a human being when you're dialoguing, when you're having that communication, when you're having those conversations. Okay, and that is really the power that LLMs brings to this. And then a couple of us would probably, if you're in sales, for instance, and the way you'd have to make sales calls, you need to engage with maybe your prospects. But now LLMs through chatbots can help you power those kind of interactions where your customers are engaging with the bot, and yet you are closing sales. Okay, so whether the user may be asking just multiple related questions or industry specific, the bots today, with the power of LLMs, can analyze the context, giving you accurate responses in real time. And really, this has really changed the game in today's day and age. It has really changed the game of how these interactions has been happening across several businesses. And the truth is, it's still going to change some more. All right, it's still going to change some more because the technology keeps evolving, and then the sophistication of these bots are only just going to get better and better. Okay, and then I'll just talk quickly now about from idea to implementation. All right, your chatbot will start as an idea. Okay, but then you need to have a clear plan. You need to start by defining what your business needs. You need to ask yourself, what will this bot help us in terms of improving our business? You need to set the goal and then also choose the right technology. Okay, and then for choosing user flow, for intuitive user flows, some of core KPIs that you can use to map out some of your KPIs for this are your response times, your customer satisfaction, your engagement rate, and also to ensure that your chatbot complements your existing customer touch points. You don't want your customer to have different experiences on your bot that is not the same and consistent with what they have maybe on your online store or maybe on your self-service kiosk, for example. It's important that you have a clear business goal, you and define your business need, you choose the right technology, and you ensure that across some of these intuitive user flows, you map out the key KPIs and also ensure that your response times, customer satisfaction, engagement rates, and then your existing touch points and the consistency across your channels, make sure that the experience is all round consistent and cohesive for your customer. All right. Okay, and this is just to just give us a practical roadmap, and when you are trying to design your chatbots for your business. The very first thing is you need to define your success metrics. What are you trying to achieve? All right, and this brings me to our own example in my organization, where when we built a chatbot this year, leveraging on OpenAI resource to build a generative and conversational chatbot that was internal to our existing staff. So what we did then was that what we're trying to achieve really was to improve productivity. And we knew that if we improve productivity with this bot, it will translate onto our customers. And then we took the call, we took the decision there and then that this bot would not be customer facing, but then the bot will be able to answer all questions within our organization. And that was really, really important for us. And once we made that definition that we're trying to improve our internal customer interaction, we knew that a bot that could answer questions along products, along processes, and helped our sales staff and our internal back office and support teams to engage better and provide the needed support that they through the chatbots, really, because rather than you having to ask maybe a sales representative or maybe a support person a question, all you needed to do was just to go to the bot. And that's what we did in our own organization. So in terms of practicality, you need to define your success matrix. What are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to improve customer service or driving sales? And they have to be measurable. Okay. And then whether you're also trying to increase the engagement with your customers or reduce response times or higher satisfaction scores, that has to be clear from the beginning. Next, you need to now design your intuitive user journeys. You need to think about how your customers will interact with your bot, and you need to ensure that those interactions are as natural and as possible. I'm sure a lot of us with the regular LLMs that are out there, when we interact with it, we feel that we're talking to human beings, and then you love that interaction. So it's really, really, really important that when you are building your bots, that the user journeys are very intuitive. You need to think about how the customers will interact with this bot and ensure that they feel as natural as possible. And then finally, the bots must integrate with your existing systems. Okay, whether it's connecting with your existing CRMs or you have some existing applications that you use that your customers interact with, it has to be seamless. You need to make sure that it integrates well with whatever back-end tools that you're using, and then it becomes an essential part of your overall customer experience. You really don't want it to be your boss to be standing in isolation, okay? Because at the end of the day, it becomes a bit disjointed. You need to ensure that it integrates well with whatever existing systems that you have in play. All right. And then just to now talk about some key takeaways that I've been sharing with you since the beginning of this presentation. You need to ensure that every chatbot initiative is tied to clear business goals, whether you're improving customer service, reducing costs, or increasing sales. All right. In terms of recap, this is what we've discussed. First, is essential that your chatbot application aligns with your business objective. Every chatbot should serve a strategic purpose. Let's not rush into chatbots with all the novelty that we have along technology or the nice to have. It must align with your business objectives. Second, you need to leverage the latest AI and LLM capabilities to boost the performance. Chatbots are much more intelligent today, and you can leverage AI and LLMs to do this in a better, more efficient way and handle more complex inquiries that will all around give you a better and superior customer experience. Okay. And then lastly, you need to follow a structured roadmap. All right. You need to define your success metrics. All right. You need to design intuitive user journeys and ensure your system integrations are as seamless as possible. And then make sure that you guarantee a real value and a seamless experience for your customers. So that's it in terms of the summary and the key takeaways from this session. And I'll be happy to take questions on the platform. I'll be on ground to make sure that I answer whatever questions you might have, and I look forward to those interactions after the session is over. And then these are my social media channels. Feel free to hit me and follow me on these channels so that we can continue the conversation a bit more. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening. I do wish you a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of the conference. Bye-bye.